Hey, what's going on YouTube? We are talking about week 3 in the NFL, Thursday Night Football, the New England Patriots against the New York Jets. The Jets home opener. First time Aaron Rodgers will play at MetLife since tearing his Achilles last year, 4 plays into the game. So, an exciting time, exciting game. I'm looking forward to it. And let's make some picks. So, we'll get your free picks a little bit ahead. It's Wednesday night, 7:48 p.m. Central Time. Again, I'm using the Daily Grind Fantasy tool. If you're not familiar, or if you're new to some of my videos, this is a DFS optimizer tool. Is the one that I'm using. AI generated picks. It's constantly updating with basically value against the book that you're going in. So we're using PrizePicks here, so you can see the odds here. If you look at Hunter Henry receptions under 3.5, you can then compare this to the other books. So everybody's in agreement that the under here is a favorable play. So that's a play that we're going to take. If you look at some of these other ones, so Brees Hall under 18, you know, you've got various values here that you're getting. So, you just kind of got to assess like what you're comfortable with taking. So if you want to check that out and play with this yourself, it's only about $59 a month. I've got a link in the bio, or in the description, I should say. Use that to sign up, and it'll get you underway. Otherwise, you can follow along with me, and we'll build out a slip. So I've done some homework already, so we're going to move through this tool pretty quickly. So the first one we're going to take is Hunter Henry under 3.5 receptions. So you can see here the value that we just looked at. And then I like Greg Zuerlein over 6.5 kicking points as well. All the books are in agreement for the most part that that's a pretty favorable play, so we're going to roll with it. So let's go over to PrizePicks. We will go to the board, and we will make our first 2 picks. So Henry, Hunter Henry, where are you, buddy? There you are, under 3.5 receptions. And then Greg Zuerlein. It's a little bit choppy for me. I really like doing this for college football too, but unfortunately, college football player props are not legal in my state. Um, and I'm fairly new to PrizePicks. I could do it when I first signed up, but it disappeared. I looked it up. I guess it's illegal where I live, so that's not so awesome. But here's what we got to deal with, I guess, when we're trying to have fun with picking some picks. Ramondre Stevenson, let's find him. We're going to go under rushing yards at 67.5. So you can see here, you're getting 67.5 yards on PrizePicks. You compare that to the rest. Everybody else is giving you less yards. So you're getting an additional yard to play with here, 3 yards, 2 yards, and fairly favorable numbers there. So we're going to take Ramondre Stevenson less than 67.5. And then the next pick that I like as well is Aaron Rodgers at under 221.5, passing plus rushing yards. So Rodgers over the first 2 weeks, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but hasn't been like incredibly mobile. There's actually been, I think this is funny, like fans complaining that Rodgers doesn't, look fast enough, and it's like, guys, this dude's like 40 years old. He's the oldest player in the NFL. He's coming off a torn Achilles. I mean, old Rodgers, like old meaning younger Rodgers. Sure, he was a great guy to move out of the pocket. He'd get a couple 100 to 300 yards rushing every year. But come on, guys, like he's a pocket passer now for the most part, and he's mobile enough. I was at the game last week actually, and I thought he was moving around pretty good. But we're going to take less than 221.5. I think the Patriots defense is pretty solid. This should be a fairly defensive game. I think the Jets offensively still have some work to do to really start gelling. But that is, we'll see what happens. And the Patriots look pretty good, surprisingly. Jerome Mayo's got those guys ready to go. The next pick that I like is Braylon Allen, rushing plus receiving yards under 35.5. So you're getting the same value or better compared to the other ones. Allen did pop off last week. He had a couple touchdowns. He had a couple of big plays, but wasn't like heavily utilized in the offense. So I think this is a little bit of an overreaction to basically him scoring a couple of times last week. even though he looks good. I think 35 and a half yards that's a pretty solid number, right? Especially for an offense that runs through Breece Hall. So anyway, this is our slip. So that's 5 plays. That's going to pay 15x um, if you get first place. So 12x really if you get the 5 out of 5 correct picks. And then you have that 4 out of 5 insurance basically. So we like that. I'm going to put in my standard $5 slip, and that'll get us to 60. I'm going to reuse this as well. I'm going to try to get this up to a arena play. So let's see what else we have here. Jacoby Brissett, pass plus rushing 176.5. Value is a little bit better elsewhere, so I'm going to move on from that. Let's see. Allen Lazard receiving yards over 30.5. I'm not a big Lazard guy anymore, but I'm not really sure what to do with that. Over 5.5 yards or receptions for Garrett Wilson. I'm kind of disappointed with Garrett Wilson. Honestly, he's not popping off like I wanted him to. I'll still give him some time, but I want to see more, especially before I take 5.5 right now against a pretty solid defense. Tyler Conklin under 20.5. You're getting 21.5 everywhere else. Antonio Gibson over 34.5 rushing plus receiving. Mike Williams. Okay, I thought that was going to be reception. Let's take that all day. Rush attempts over 15 for Breece Hall. Rushing yards under 63.5. I think we already have a. Do we have a Breece Hall play? Maybe not. Let's see. Pass completions. Completions are not my favorite prop. Over 23.5 receiving yards from Mike Williams. Yeah, I don't love that. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we're going to take Breece Hall with the rushing touchdown. Let's see what that takes it up to. Not quite 25x, but 23, which isn't bad. I think there's a pretty good chance that Breece is scoring a touchdown, so let's take that as kind of our second play here. So, and I like to do this a little bit. I like to go either 5 or 6 play lineups. To me, you have the best chance of winning when that happens, especially if they're a correlated line. So I think those are going to be our 2 plays. So let's go look at the lineups here. You can see again, Hunter Henry, less than 3.5 receptions. Zerline, over 6.5 kicking points. Ramondre Stevenson, less than 67.5 yards rushing. Rodgers, less than 221.5 passing plus rushing. Braylon Allen, less than 35.5. And Breece Hall, more than a half rush plus receiving yards. So, I think it's going to be a defensive game. We'll see what the 2 teams do. But yeah, those are going to be my 2 picks for right now. Again, this is going in just before 8 p.m. Central on Wednesday night. If you want to get these picks in real time, you can go over, subscribe on my Winnable store, winnable.com/FFPPR. If you want to subscribe, I've got daily, monthly, and of course annual plans that'll get you through the football season. So I post for every football game, as far as like the days that we have games. So Thursday night, Saturday, Sunday. I'll put in prop information. I think I'm going to add a subscription for just props with information coming from Player Prop Shop that you can check out as well and make the assessment of how you want to play it. And then I'm obviously adding in AI-generated picks as well with not just the DFS optimizer, but also the AI generator tool via Daily Grind. This is $300 a month, not cheap, but you're looking at a pretty high ROI percentage per wager, and it's constantly updating. So nothing on, well, here is one on PrizePicks right now. And so you can kind of see this one isn't super high odds. I don't think I would take this bet right now, but you just got to keep checking back, and you'll see some that are higher, like 12%. So those are the picks for today. Check it out. Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know how you're doing, And good luck out there. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.